Hello, this is Scott Cordell, and the video today is going to discuss the homework for CSC210 database design, and we're looking at the week 4 assignments. Now on my screen you can see that we're looking at week 4 right now. There is, of course, a weekly discussion where you will engage in the discussion. Remember, the best way is to post early in the week and then come back a couple of times later in the week and respond to at least 2 other folks to get full credit. I am more than happy to actually see you engage in more than that, but at least 2 will get you full credit. Now, what I want to talk about first is really this assignment here, assignment 4.1, which is connecting to the server. The videos I provided last week told you that we were going to do 4 different steps, and right next to the 4th step, I provided the statement that said you can't do this yet because I had to finish setting up the server. The server is created. It has been loaded. It's actually up and running right now, which we'll test in just a minute. And your accounts are being created. They're not complete. They'll be done later this evening sometime. To review how to do this, though, you can watch this video, same one that was step 4 of last week. I just copied the link back over here for you. Using this host name, your student ID, and again, your student ID is nothing more than your email address, the first part of it, without the @my.sullivan.edu. It should be your first initial, first 5 letters of your last name, and then 4 digits. Again, those 4 digits have nothing to do with your Social Security number or any other thing. They're just 4 random digits that the school assigned you. If you have trouble finding your student ID, send me a private email or something in the private message board, and I will be glad to look that up for you and get that back to you. And then this super secretive password. I literally want you to type these letters and spell the word, the word password. I know that seems very insecure, but please realize at this point, for someone to get to this VM, to get to the server, they first had to log into the VDI using your credentials. They had to log into the virtual machine manager and get to your VM that you created. So number 3, they had to fire up that VM, which has another username and password you put in last week, and then finally open up MySQL Workbench and get there. The chances of someone jumping through all those hoops and cracking all those passwords and all that just made it to where I thought it would be easiest if everyone had a nice generic password, something they don't have to remember, and can just get in. So you are going to use the word password as your password, all lowercase, no zeros, no dollar signs, no funky characters, just the simple word password. Now again, that is not ready right now. It'll be opened up later today, and I will send an announcement out on Blackboard as soon as that's ready. Now what I want to show you is back over here, I'm going to go ahead and move to the VM. So here I am in the VDI. Again, you can always tell by this toolbar where the VDI is. I'm already opened up Virtual Machine Manager, and I've got a machine here that I'm going to go ahead and power on. Once it gets to starting status and running, now I can actually join or connect to it, and I'm going to connect via the console. All right, once the virtual machine displays, I usually just click to log in and put in my password. To get to the desktop, and usually I go straight to full screen, and here we are. Now notice that this full screen does not take up the full screen. You can go right-click on the desktop and go to Display Settings and attempt to find a resolution that works best on your personal machine or your home machine. Right now I am at a pretty safe 1366. I can try to go up higher. Sometimes it works, sometimes it does not. So if I can hit Keep Changes, it grew just a tiny bit, and I can slowly start goosing up more and more. I'm actually fine with where it is, so I'm going to leave it just like that. But just realize you can edit this a little bit. It's never going to be true high def. Don't care what your monitor is. We just don't have the drivers loaded on the virtual desktops to actually do that. But here I am in it. You're going to go to MySQL Workbench that you loaded last week. And you can see in MySQL Workbench I've been playing a little bit. I can log in as myself, as the admin, or I've got a student test here is the one that we're going to look at. But for you, you don't have any of these. Instead, you need to click this plus sign right here to create a brand new connection. Give it some kind of name, so it really doesn't matter. You can call it My Connection, or if you want to do this course, that's fine. It's the only one you got out there. We'll connect with standard TCP IP. The address is the one that's back in the course, 172.16.6.21. Keep the port of 3306. Here you'll put in your student ID again, and I'm going to reuse the one that I did before here. I believe, just a second. All right, and then hit test. Once you hit test, you'll need to put in the appropriate password. Again, the word password. And if everything works, if it does work, you'll get this kind of response. I want to clear out the password. And then if I try to test without a password, it will prompt me for one. Again, you could type it in, but I want to show you what happens if something fails, such as I don't type in a password. I'll get this message that just could not connect. Now that means that either this user ID or using no password failed. So if I take out, let's just change a digit here. There's not a student named that or numbered that in our system as far as I know. And I'll go ahead and put in the right password. Again, just the word password. Still failed because that student doesn't exist. I didn't make an account for him or her. But if I go back again and test, and I want to go ahead and save it this time, then whenever I hit OK to test, then everything comes out fine. So at this point, we have a working connection. I'll hit OK, and that will save it in my list. Again, I've got some others here. But now for me to actually get to the server and use anything, I simply click this connection. What this will do is make the connection for me and move me into an editor. Inside of MySQL Workbench, notice that it's a tab that has that connection name on it right up here. And over here to the side, I have schemas. Now, schemas are the same thing that we're calling in the book databases. So this student has 4 different databases. One that has their student ID underscore bits, student ID underscore colonial, one for Scratchpad, one for sports. In the book, you have bits, colonial, sports. Scratchpad is one you're going to use later on for your project that we'll do around week 7 and 8. You'll start building another database on your own, completely from scratch. And this is where I'd rather you put it so you don't pollute these. So let me head back to the instructions here for just a minute. That means this note right here is very important. The databases that are in the other video from week 4, the one that's in this link, do not match anything anymore. It's an older video that I've got to eventually redo. So all of yours will be something like your ID, just like this, and then the name of the database in smaller caps, not uppercase, all lowercase. So you're going to have bits, here's the colonial, there's sports, and there's Scratchpad. So those are the 4 that you're going to need. Now to submit this one, what I want you to do back here is connect to one of them. And you can pick any one. You can connect to colonial, Scratchpad, bits, or sports, but let's just go ahead and use bits. And the command to connect to a database is actually use. Now we'll get into this much later during the quarter, but I prefer to use all caps, which this is not letting me do. There we go. For database commands, not for the names, but notice the name is in all lowercase, so that needs to be exactly as it is spelled in the same capping. So you're just using the word use to use the database or to connect to it. All commands end with a semicolon, not all lines, but all commands. And I need to see if I can make this work. Now, if it works, I'll have some output down here in the output area. To run this command, I'm just going to hit this lightning bolt, which runs everything that's here. Well, I've got one command, so it'll run that one. So I'll do that. It says use, no rows affected, but I've got a green check mark, which tells me everything is good, everything ran. And even better, over here, this database, this schema, turned bold, which means it understands that that is now a usable database, that I am connected to it. So what I want is this screenshot. Open up your snipping tool, take a shot of this. Again, it's best if you give me the entire screen because up here at the very top, where I've gone full screen, actually today it's not showing. Usually you get a picture that says you're in whatever database. If you give me this screen here, then I'll take this because it does have your username and the database. It tells me you're in Workbench, and the only way you can do this is through the VDI. So I'm fine with just this screen here. Submit that to the Dropbox, and that's it for assignment 4.1. Again, if you have questions about that, please email me or text me or send a message through the private messages through Course Communications over here, and I'll get right back to you. Once again, my name is Scott Cordell. This is for CSC210 Database Design, Week 4 homework. I hope you enjoyed the video and that it helped you get started. If you have questions, please give me a call or text me or somehow contact me. Let me help you. That's what I'm here for. Thanks for watching.